So good morning, everyone. In previous class, I explained that how can you register on this Navars platform to participate in the Space Challenge Innovation. Correct?
Yeah, correct.
Today we are going to Yes, beta.
No. Continue.
Okay. So today we are going to discuss कि हम डिटेल में वो प्रोजेक्ट्स कैसे रीड करेंगे, कैसे अंडरस्टैंड करेंगे एंड उसके बाद अपनी रिसर्च रिपोर्ट कैसे प्रिपेयर करेंगे. Okay, so let's understand both the topics one by one. So we have to go for this junior scientist videos first. ठीक है, mentors videos आपको देखने की जरूरत नहीं है. Welcome to NSIC is okay. It's just a introduction. So if you want to know more about the Navars, you can go there. And if you don't have time, you can skip that. All right. So what we need to understand this junior scientist topics. So for that, we'll be going on junior scientist videos and we'll be seeing this first video first, that is space junk collection robot. So click on that. Now this video is only of 9-13 minutes. So just watch this loud.
Excited for this master class. So let's begin. Let me just share my screen. Question. What is a robot? Think about it for a moment. So robot is a special machine that can move around and do things by itself or by following instructions given to it by people. In this picture also, you can see the movable arms that is attached to this robot. Robots are really smart machines and can do many different things like helping to build cars, exploring outer space, or even playing games with you. Okay. Now, robots in space. That are special machines designed to explore and study different parts of space, such as planets, asteroids, and other celestial bodies. These robots are often sent to the space by some space agencies like NASA or ESA, or we have ISRO to collect information and data that help scientists and researchers to learn more about our universe. There are many types of robots that are used in space. One another example is the rovers, the landers, orbiters, etc. Here in this picture, you can see some rovers. So the first one, that is Perseverance. And here you can see the Curiosity rover. And here we have one another lander. This is the InSight lander. And others are all orbiters. Orbiters are robots that travel around a planet or asteroid, taking pictures, gathering information about the area. So coming to rovers, and that is like a robot that are designed to move around on the surface of a planet or asteroid, taking pictures and collecting samples, similar to the orbiter, but it can move around and it can explore the planet or any astronomical body. Now, tell me, what are the major issues they face, these type of robots? One major issue is the space radiation. We have several sources of space radiation, and one example is solar radiation. And we have the galactic cosmic radiation as well as the Van Allen belt radiation. Okay, so we will talk about that. Space radiation is a type of energy that comes from the sun and another sources in space. Spacecraft like International Space Station, the ISS, it has some special areas called the radiation shielding that help protect the astronauts from the space radiation. And I told you about the Van Allen belt, right? So it is the charged particles trapped in planets' magnetosphere. It can also affect electronic equipment and satellites in space. So scientists and engineers have to design them to withstand the radiation. Our space agencies monitor the space radiation levels to ensure the safety of astronauts and spacecraft. So how do you protect your spacecraft? We need something that can protect the entire spacecraft from this harmful radiations, right? That we can do by this multi-layer insulation, or we can say MLI. Okay, so these are the layers like blankets or jackets that have several layers of different materials to keep things warm or cold. This multi-layer insulation can help keep things cool by reflecting the sun's heat away and preventing it from entering. So that's how this works. The MLA, in this picture also, you can see the gold color. That is not gold foil, it is the MLI, multi-layer insulation. Now, let me ask you another question. What do you know about Canada? Have you heard about it? So, Canada is a robotic arm used in space by astronauts to help them with different tasks. The Canada arm is actually about 50-meter long. You can see in this picture also the long arm. It is a big mechanical arm that can move and grab things in space. It is made up of different segments that can rotate, bend like a human arm. Okay. This Canada arm is very strong and it can lift heavy objects in space like satellites or piece of the space station. It helps for docking also. Here you can see the docking port. So whenever the cargo or the space shuttle comes, the Canada arm will help that space shuttle to attach or for the docking. Okay. Now, tell me, what is an artificial satellite? We have two types of satellite. One is natural satellite and another one is artificial satellites. Okay, what do you know about it? Let's talk about that. Artificial satellites are launched into space using rockets. Once they reach the desired altitude, they are released into the orbit. So we have different orbits also. It is not in a particular orbit that every satellites or every space robots are moving. So we have different orbits. Satellites are used for various purposes, including communication, weather forecasting, navigation, scientific research, and even spying. Satellites can stay in orbit for many years, but eventually they may run out of fuel or become non-functional and need to be replaced. That is actually a very big issue. Once it is not functional, it will become a debris. Okay. So there are thousands of artificial satellites orbiting the Earth right now. Now, in this picture, you can see the first one, that is Sputnik 1. Sputnik 1 is the world's first artificial satellite. It was launched by Soviet Union on October 4th, 1957. Sputnik was a small shiny sphere that is measured about 58 centimeter only. That is the diameter. And here you can see another one, that is Aryabhatta. Aryabhatta is the India's first satellite and named after the famous ancient Indian mathematician and astronomer Aryabhatta. So this is also launched with the help of Soviet Union. Okay. So these are all about artificial satellites. I told you there are plenty of satellites orbiting right now our planet Earth. Now, tell me, do all types of satellites orbit at the same height? Or do we have different orbits? I already told you about this, right? So these are all not in a single orbit. So we have different orbits. In this picture, you can see the yellow one that is close to planet Earth. This is called a low Earth orbit. Typically, this orbit is in between approximately 1,000 kilometers. And the next orbit is medium Earth orbit or MEO. You can see that. This is approximately ranging from 10 kilometers. The measurement that varies. So this is an approximate measurement of this orbit. And the next one that you can see here, geostationary orbit. This is at an altitude of approximately 35,768 kilometers. So that is the altitude. And we have different satellites that is orbiting in low Earth orbit, medium Earth orbit. Depending on the purpose, it will be in different orbits. Okay. Now, what is the downside of using satellites? Is there any disadvantage of using satellites? Let's talk about the major disadvantage. That is also your challenge. So, space junk. What is space junk? Over the years, space missions and satellite launches have left behind a significant amount of debris in Earth's orbit. So, this debris ranges in size from tiny fragments to larger objects. You can see in this picture also, so many debris are there, right? And here we have our planet Earth that is in between. Okay, we have 5,500 tons of space junk up in the sky. That's a load, right? So more than the satellites, more than the space telescope, we have debris that they're orbiting around planet Earth. So depending on the size, we can classify like this. Less than 1 centimeter, we have this many pieces up in the sky. If it is 10 centimeter and bigger, then we
Okay. So do you know that what is space junk? किसी को पता है कि space junk होता क्या है? Space junk means जो space, हाँ, please. Okay. See.
Ma'am, ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, when satellites go in the universe, waste material of the satellites of the destroyed satellites are moving in the space is called space junk.
Very good. Very good. Clapping for him. Excellent. Correct answer. Okay. So what we have to do in this project is space junk collection robot. So we have to design a robot which can collect that space junk. जो हमारे सैटेलाइट का रिमेनिंग पार्ट होता है which is not used for the mission, वो स्पेस में जब ऐसे ही घूमता रहता है, so we need to make a robot which can collect that. Okay.
we have 20,000 pieces. So imagine, even it is a scrap of paint that is going to orbit around planet Earth. Okay, why space junk is a problem? Why we are talking about space junk? Space junk poses a risk to operational satellites, the International Space Station, and future space missions. Collisions with the small debris can cause a severe damage due to the high speeds at which the objects orbit the Earth. In this picture, you can see this is Canada. We already talked about that. Here, can you see a tiny hole? This is actually due to the collision of the space debris. So that made an impact hole in Canada. And in the second one, you can see this is the Hubble Space Telescope. Here also, you can see the impact that is created due to the collision of space junk. So it is actually a threat for the future missions, the satellites, whatever there in the sky that is functional. Once it is not functional, then again it is also going to be a space junk. We are not taking the space junk back to Earth. So we need to find a way to reduce all this. Imagine, initially we never had any space junk, right? In this picture, you can see the pale blue dot, that's our planet Earth. And after 2005, you can see it exponential growth. We can see an exponential growth in the space debris. So what will happen in 2030? You can't see the planet Earth. It will be like covered with white dots. That many space debris will be there in the future. So we have to solve this problem of space debris. How can you do that? Why do you have to do that? We'll talk about that. So I hope you're interested in astrophotography. See this kind of picture. Here we have the North Star. So every stars are revolving around that. It's not revolving around that. It's like moving according to the North Star. Here you can see every stars are moving. So in order to get this kind of picture, you need to take a long exposure photography. When you do that, imagine something is moving like this, then the entire photo is ruined, right? You won't get the movement of the stars, but you will get some random pieces moving across. Then you can't get a beautiful picture like this. So that is actually the satellite. In this picture, you can see some trails. Can you see the long trails that is moving? So when you take a picture, you can see so many satellites, the aeroplanes that is moving. These are 19 Starlink satellite trails cross the image during 6 minutes exposure photo. That is actually a very big problem. So if you need to have the beautiful sky like this, then you have to reduce the space junk and you have to reduce the use of the satellites and everything. We have to minimize, we have to reuse, and we have to reduce the space junk. Okay. How can we solve this issue? You have to think about it and you have to come up with an idea. We need to remove all the space junk that is up in the sky. But we need a special technology to do that, right? We can't go there and grab everything back to Earth. We need some robots that will be able to go there and collect the junks, and we need to find another way to dispose also. So that's how we can reduce the space junk up in the sky. So now it's your turn to create and design something that will be removing all the space junk up in the sky. Okay.
Understood? What is the task? We need to design a robot which will collect all the junk available in the space and will find the idea to destroy that too. क्योंकि इतना सारा जंक अगर अर्थ पर लेके आएगा वो तो भी एक प्रॉब्लम होगी. करेक्ट. तो उसको डिस्ट्रॉय करने का भी हमें कोई आइडिया सर्च करना है with the idea that how can we collect the complete junk from the space with the help of a robot. Okay. Now what resources we can use to do that? This is the video for the first topic, that is space junk collection. अभी हमारा दूसरा भी है reusable rocket design. उसको आप लोग खुद से देखना है, हम फिर से डिस्कस करेंगे. After this space junk collection robot, we need to think कि हम किस रिसोर्स की हेल्प से बना सकते हैं. रोबोट आप कैसे डिजाइन कैसे करोगे? So these are the resources that we can use here. That is Tinkercad design. So Tinkercad, I know some of you must know Tinkercad क्या होता है. So with the help of Tinkercad, we need to
Dear all,
design a robot.
welcome to our new tutorial, dedicated to Autodesk Tinkercad 2021, an online CAD tool completely free to use. In just 9 minutes, we will see everything you need to know to start using it. Autodesk Tinkercad is a free online CAD tool for everyone. It is the best choice to learn CAD for the first time, but also a great solution to bring experiments and ideas into life with 3D printers. It is 100% safe to use for kids. To start working on Tinkercad, just open its page and perform a login. The first time, you may need to register since they require basic knowledge of electronics. Select 3D Designs and click on Create New Design to start. You will get a main.
So 3D design making is very easy on Tinkercad. अभी यहाँ पर ये basics बताएगा, so that is not important. We need to design a robot here. Correct. तो हम Tinkercad platform का use करके एक robot और rocket design कर सकते हैं, which will collect the space junk. So this is the basic idea. Okay. After getting your idea and after designing a robot here on Tinkercad, we need to make a research report. So research report हमें कैसे बनाने हैं? What are the guidelines for research reports? So note down all these headings. In the research report, first of all, you need to write a title. First topic should be a title. You all can note down these headings. First is title, then introduction. Third is research question. Fourth is methods. Fifth is findings. Sixth is analysis. Then conclusion. Then references. And then appendices. So in title, what you will write? जो भी आपका project title है, that you have to write in the title. Clear and engaging title. एकदम clear होना चाहिए कि आपका project क्या करने वाला है, और वो इतना attractive भी होना चाहिए कि उसको पढ़ के सबको लगे कि वाह, ये तो हमें पढ़ना ही चाहिए, ये सच में कोई बहुत अच्छा solution है. It should be engaging. In introduction, you will be writing the introduction that provides background information. आपने जो भी research किया है, उसकी क्या information है, उसमें आपने क्या क्या important and interesting किया है, वो सब आपको introduction में लिखना है. आफ्टर दैट रिसर्च क्वेश्चन में आपको लिखना है कि आपकी जो प्रॉब्लम है वो किस क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व कर रही है, वो किस एम को एड्रेस कर रही है, मतलब उसका क्या एम है, वो क्या सॉल्व करेगी. तो जो आपका प्रॉब्लम है ना, प्रॉब्लम जैसे हम प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट लिखते थे वही लिखना है आपको इसमें. क्लियरली वो क्वेश्चन आपको स्टेट करना है, प्रॉब्लम स्टेट करना है जिसको कि आपका प्रोजेक्ट सॉल्व कर रहा होगा. सो दिस शुड बी अ प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट इन रिसर्च क्वेश्चन. ओके. Then in methods, you have to write the complete solution कि आपने क्या क्या method use किया है, कैसे data collect किया है, क्या survey किया है, क्या observation की है, क्या experiments किए हैं, जो आपने complete process किया है, आपका complete solution you will write in the methods. In findings में आप क्या लिखोगे कि आपकी research से क्या मिला है, मतलब till जब तक आप अपना project submit कर रहे हो, till then हाउ मच यू हैव सॉल्व द प्रॉब्लम, कितनी फाइंडिंग्स आपको आपकी रिसर्च से मिली हैं, क्या रिजल्ट्स और क्या पैटर्न्स मिले हैं. सो दैट यू हैव टू राइट इन द फाइंडिंग्स. एनालिसिस में कि आपने क्या एनालाइज किया है, जब आप रिसर्च कर रहे थे, जब आप प्रोजेक्ट बना रहे थे, तब क्या रिजल्ट्स आपने एनालिसिस किए, क्या इंपॉर्टेंस आपको मिली, क्या आपने नया सीखा स्पेस जंग के बारे में. ठीक है. कंक्लूजन में आप अपने प्रोजेक्ट को समराइज करेंगे, शॉर्ट फॉर्म में समराइज करके लिखेंगे. रेफरेंसेस में आपको लिखना है कि आपने क्या हेल्प ली है. फॉर एन एग्जाम्पल, आप अपनी मैम की हेल्प ले रहे हो तो आप अपनी मैम का नाम लिख सकते हो, जिसकी भी हेल्प ले रहे हो. या आप जिस साइट से रीड आउट कर रहे हो स्पेस जंग के बारे में, उस साइट का नाम लिख सकते हो. अगर आप टिंकर कैट की हेल्प से कुछ बना रहे हो तो आप टिंकर कैट का नाम लिख सकते हो. अगर आपने किसी बुक से स्पेस के बारे में पढ़ा है तो आप उस बुक का नाम लिख सकते हो. तो जहां से भी आप स्टडी करोगे, रिसर्च करोगे, हेल्प लोगे, वो सारी चीजें आपको रेफरेंस में लिखनी है. एंड अपेंडिसेस में आपको लिखना है जो भी आपने मटेरियल यूज किया है. फॉर एन एग्जाम्पल, अगर आपने सिर्फ टिंकर कैट पे बनाया तो टिंकर कैट आपने यूज किया है, इंटरनेट यूज किया है, लैपटॉप यूज किया है. या अगर आप हार्ड प्रोजेक्ट बना रहे हो, हार्ड कॉपी बना रहे हो, तो आपने क्या चार्ट पे बनाया है ना, कार्डबोर्ड लिया है बनाने के लिए, पेंसिल्स का यूज किया है, गम का यूज किया है, किस किस चीज का यूज किया है, दैट थिंग्स यू हैव टू राइट इन द अपेंडिसेस. So these are the 9 headings that you have to write in your research report, और इन्हीं को आपको explain करके अप्रॉक्स 2000 वर्ड्स में अपनी रिपोर्ट तैयार करनी है. फॉर टेक्निकल हेल्प आप अपने टेक्निकल टीचर्स की हेल्प लोगे, यानी कि अनीता मैम की हेल्प ले सकते हो, मेरे से क्वेश्चन कर सकते हो एनी टाइम. एंड फॉर साइंस रिलेटेड क्वेश्चंस, कि आपको स्पेस के बारे में, स्पेस जंग के बारे में, जैसे स्पेस डेब्रीज की बात आई थी, इन सब के बारे में हेल्प लेनी है तो आप अपने साइंस टीचर्स की भी हेल्प ले सकते हो. दे कैन हेल्प यू, दे कैन एक्सप्लेन यू ईच एंड एवरीथिंग. करेक्ट? Any questions from anyone's side?